At $350,000, Temple and Belton sell you almost the exact same property. The typical one in each is about 8 square feet apart. So price and size and age won't decide this, but one of these two towns is still wrong for you. And by the end of this video, you will know which one, because the answer isn't the same for everyone. It comes down to two things that most buyers don't even check before writing an offer. Two towns about 15 minutes apart. They look just about the same on Zillow, and most YouTube videos that I see are touring each town and then calling it a day. Today, I'm gonna get into the tax rates, the home prices, the Baylor Scott and White commute, the school districts, the flood zones, and much more. So stick with me. By the end of this video, you're gonna know which one fits you and then which one to walk away from. Quick ground rule, I'm not gonna tell you one city wins over the other. They win for different people. The whole point of this video is to figure out which person you are. My name is Taylor Dash, I'm with EG Realty, and I've closed over 100 transactions in the Temple, Belton area. This knowledge is coming from somebody who is actually doing deals in this market. All right, so here's the map. You got the Temple, Belton city limits and the ring of unincorporated county / ETJ around them. Keep that ring in your head. It's going to matter a lot more than you would think. Let's start with the thing that everybody leads with, and that is price. And that's where the first surprise is, because the houses are basically the same. Over the last year, the median home that sold in Temple was $274,000, whereas the median home in Belton was at $320,000. So I know what you're thinking. That's a pretty big price difference there. It looks like Temple is a cheaper city to buy into. There's a lot more inventory in Temple under the $300,000 price range. But watch what happens if you hold the price constant. If you have a $350,000 budget, here is the median home that you will actually get in each city. They're almost identical square footage, and before you ask, no, one is not newer than the other either. The median home that sold in Temple was built in 2020, and in Belton was built in 2021. Same size, same age. The Belton home sold a little bit faster at about 60 days versus 80 days in Temple. So at the mid-tier, you are not getting a bigger house or a newer house in one city or the other. So you got the same money, same size, same age. If the house is a wash, what is actually different? And that is where it gets interesting. So the house costs about the same, but what you pay every year after closing on the property is not the same. And this is the part that nobody explains, because you have to actually read the tax rolls to get it right. So that is what I did, and here are the real 2025 rates straight from the Bell County Appraisal District. So the first surprise is that the city of Temple's tax rate is actually higher than the city of Belton's, about 70 cents per $100 versus 52. So most people assume that the bigger city has cheaper taxes, but it's actually the opposite. And then the second surprise is that Temple actually layers on extra districts that most Belton addresses do not carry. So for Temple, you have the Temple College and the Temple Health and Bioscience District. Add the county road and the Clearwater line items, and a home in Temple is going to run at around a 2.39% tax rate, whereas the same home in Belton is going to run just over 2.0%, and that's without the homestead tax exemption. So at a $350,000 home with the homestead tax exemption, here's the annual bill for each. So the city of Temple home is going to be $6,450 per year, $537 per month, and then the city of Belton is at $5,415 per year, or $451 per month. You're looking at roughly $1,000 per year, same price, same square footage, same age, just different city line. And then over the course of your ownership of the home, which is typically between 6 to 10 years, you could be looking at up to $10,000. But here is the part that actually matters the most. It's not Temple versus Belton. It's whether you're inside the city limits at all. If you see that ring of county land around both cities, the ETJ, or the extraterritorial jurisdiction, if you buy a home outside the city limits in unincorporated Bell County, you drop the entire city tax, gone. So on a $350,000 home, the city rate piece alone is roughly $1,800 to $2,450 per year before the local exemption map. And a clean county address with no city taxes or MUD district can end up saving you around $3,000 per year. So that is the single biggest lever on your tax bill, and it's the exact question that I see buyers relocating to Temple get a vague non-answer to over and over. Am I in the city or not? So now you know why it matters. But before you go buy the cheapest house in the county, there's a trap that runs in the other direction, and it's hiding in one of Belton's most popular new construction neighborhoods. So whenever you buy new construction out in the county, a lot of these neighborhoods sit inside a municipal utility district. So that's pretty much an extra tax that pays back the developer for the roads and the water lines. Here in Bell County, mud rates run about 78 cents all the way up to $1 per $100. That's another 3/4 to 1% of taxes on top of everything. Belton's largest new build community, and it's not even close. Nearly half of what Belton sold last year was new construction. Three Creeks by itself was about a quarter of Belton sales, between 300 and 400,000. So Three Creeks has sections inside of Bell County Mud number 1 and Mud number 2. Mud number 1 is about 78 cents per $100, and Mud number 2 is about 95 cents per 100. So on a $350,000 home, extra tax will add from $2,740 all the way up to $3,325 per year. So think about what just happened. You move out of the city to save on taxes, and then the municipal utility district gives it all back and possibly even more. A Three Creeks home can end up costing you almost as much per year as a home inside the city limits, even though Belton on paper looks cheaper. In a Mud, unlike some other utility districts, you can't pay off. It is going to be there for the duration that you own the property. So the move here isn't avoid Belton, it's check on the tax assessments prior to putting an offer on the property. Established neighborhoods like Canyon Creek, Legacy Ranch, and Alta Vista in Temple do not carry one. I check this on every single property before my buyer writes an offer on it. So that settles the money question. There's one factor that overrides all of this math for families, and the map that decides it is not the map that you think you're looking at. All right, so here's the thing. Your school district is not set by your city. It's set by your attendance zone, and that line does not follow the city line. There's homes with a Temple mailing address that are actually in Belton ISD. So you have Sage Meadows, you have some parts of Bellaterra, which that gets tricky because I've seen people, they'll see Bellaterra and they'll see, oh, Belton ISD, but then a different section of that neighborhood is actually Temple ISD. So keep that in mind. And the craziest thing is the Lake Belton High School actually has a Temple address. So if schools are anywhere in your decision, please confirm based off of the address. If you're working with me, I'm going to confirm that. If the school zone is important to you, I'm gonna make sure that all of the properties that you're interested in are in the school zone that you want, whether it be Temple, Belton. I don't care what school zone. I don't have any say in either one of them. I think both are great. All right, so there's two real world scenarios that actually make a difference whenever you're deciding between Temple or Belton. Listen, if you're moving to Temple Belton area for Baylor, Scott & White, Temple is going to be the right decision. You're about an 8 to 13 minute commute anywhere in Temple, whereas Belton's going to be between 13 to 18 minutes to Baylor, Scott & White. Now, if on the other hand you are moving to Temple for the military, Belton is going to be a lot closer to the Fort Hood area, especially if you're looking at the Three Creeks neighborhood. All right, now pick Belton if your priority is the school rating. Belton has a better walkable downtown. Temple's downtown is coming up, but it's not quite there yet. Park, this is Nolan Creek right here. There's a restaurant on the creek. It's a beautiful trail. You have the Mary Hardin Baylor campus. There's one caveat to this creek here, and that is that it is in a flood zone. So about 10% of the homes in Belton are actually in a flood zone from this creek. So you have to be sure to verify that, because that's another insurance cost that you're gonna have to pay if you're in that flood zone. Move to Temple if you're moving to Temple for Baylor, Scott & White, if you want to be less than 13 minutes away from Baylor, Scott & White, and then also if you want a more mature neighborhood, possibly an older home, and you may want to fall below that $300,000 price point. But then pick Belton If you want a more walkable downtown, walkable trail, and if you want a newer construction home, you're still going to get about the same home in the Temple Belton area. The main point of this video is to help you find out what is best for you, and always to remind you to do your research before you make an offer on a property. I hope y'all enjoy this video. Let's get it.